So we're here today with Karl McDonald, Administrator of the Year at last year's Southland Sports Awards. You won't be around this year for the awards though. You've got a big trip planning up. Tell me a wee bit more about that.
Yeah, so on Wednesday I fly out to Auckland and then Thursday off to Japan for the next 3.5 months. I'm on my way for 2 jobs. First one is with the Japan rugby team. We've got probably a month of training in Japan before we go to Scotland to play the British Lions, Scotland and Ireland, which is pretty exciting over in Europe. And then when I come back, I've got 2 options: either come back to Japan and self-isolate for 2 weeks, or come back to New Zealand and managed isolate before 3 days after that going back to Japan for the Olympics with the World Sevens referees. So probably I'll just stay in Japan, it'll be a bit easier, and come back after the Olympics.
The rugby tour to UK, sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it does sound fantastic, and it will be. The games will be incredible. They're 3 really good games. Really good opportunity for Japan to continue on what they did after the World Cup, so that'll be exciting, but I'd imagine we'll be in a real bubble situation when we are in Japan and in Europe. I don't think we'll be getting out of our hotel or training facilities, but it still will be, from a rugby perspective, really, really exciting.
And as you say, the Brave Blossoms really hoping to, build on that magic that they created in 2019.
Yeah, and it was a special time, and it's just been a shame that there has been no rugby for them since, because of obviously COVID. To continue with the phenomenon that rugby produced over there with the crowd support and stuff, but also B, for the players to continue and test themselves at that level. So they haven't actually played a test since the World Cup in 2019. I think South Africa is the only real other nation that hasn't played, so that'll put us behind the 8 ball a wee bit when we play those match hardened teams, the Lions and Ireland, who've been playing 5 nations and whatnot, but one-off games. So hopefully Jamie and Tony will get the boys up to speed and we'll cause some upsets.
Yeah, absolutely. Now you've been involved in a multitude of teams right up to international level. You're really experienced in what you do. What is there anything different in the way that you approach this role with the Japanese team?
I guess the only difference is that traditionally you have a doctor as your head of medical, but Jamie has instated me as the head of medical, so I'm not just doing my job, I'm actually coordinating the whole medical team and reporting back to the coach and to the trainer. So then I've also got to juggle a team and keep everyone happy within the medical team. So we've got 2 other Japanese physios and a Japanese doctor. So that's the only real other difference to what previous roles have been.
Now the Olympics, as time goes on, we're getting more confident that the Olympics are actually going to happen. Tell me a bit more about your role with the referees.
So I've been with the referees now for 2 years, or 2.5 years I think, on the 7th circuit. So travel the 7th circuit, men's circuit with the referees, and my job with them is twofold really. I'm in charge of taking them we go away for 2 weeks at a time, so I'm in charge of taking them for their conditioning sessions during those 2 weeks, and then obviously providing physiotherapy care for them. So the role in the Olympics, again, whilst it does sound pretty amazing, it won't be as amazing as what it otherwise would have been without COVID, because we basically just go into camp a day before the event, stay in our own little bubble, in our own little hotel, away from the athletes and that obviously, and all we'll do is go from the hotel to the ground, do our games, 3 days of men's and then 3 days of women's, and then the day later we're out and into 2 weeks of managed isolation when we get home.
Now you're a proud Southlander. Do you get the chance to fly the Southland flag when you're away?
I won't be able to fly the flag because we won't be able to go and watch any events to go and support any Southlanders that will be there, but certainly I'll let people know where I'm from and pretty proud of it.
Yeah. Oh, well, all the best, mate. Have a great trip.
Thank you, Nathan. Appreciate it.